Any public comments or concerns? Okay, then we need to, APC, we don't have anybody from the APC, our APC here.
Marcellus is going to provide the information over the phone, present that way. So we
Okay.
just need to give him a call. Maybe. Let me go grab her other phone.
The party you are trying to reach is busy and cannot take your call. The party you are trying to reach is busy and cannot take your
Turn around. Okay.
There he is. Hi, Barry.
It's,
call from MS Consultant.
okay. Hello. Hello. It was from me, probably from him.
Hello, can you hear
Hey, we can, hey Marcellus, we can hear you now.
I didn't
You can
have it
go.
turned on.
Okay.
I'm not putting the microphone down.
See if that works. Okay. Do you, I think they're all set when you are, Marcellus.
All right. So I have before me the petition for a rezone, REZ 01-2025. Just kind of give a little background on the procedure we've gone through so far. Planning Commission met on November 10th to hear this request, and as a result of that hearing, they granted a favorable recommendation for this rezoning. I'm going to briefly go through my staff report, give you a little bit more detail about this proposal. First off, the proposal is to rezone the property at 416 North Pearl Street from residential to business. This is for the purposes of developing it as a self-storage facility that will use essentially container storage containers, Connex shipping container type pieces of 3 different sizes for the storage units. They'll be arranged in a sort of, you have 3 aisles, and then those are arranged by board units to kind of enclose the property. The surrounding districts are residential all the way around, but to the south and east is the cemetery, and then north is some homes, and across the street are more houses. One of the concerns with the rezone, of course, is if it's compatible with the character and uses in the area. These other properties are of this sort of more rural character, and it's staff's finding that the design of this facility is consistent with that character. Self-storage is not typically a use that creates a lot of noise or smells or other kinds of nuisances. The main issues are neighbors might desire visual screening so they don't have to maybe see the facility, and obviously we don't want lights or cameras or other kind of security measures that might shine or be pointed at the neighbors and disturb them. But this plan doesn't really call for anything that's too concerning in that regard. We then look at the consistency with the comprehensive plan. Self-storage is typically considered a light industrial use due to its similarity to warehouses. And the future land use map shows this area with continuing to be used as residential. However, the future land use map only shows light industrial, and not just light industrial, but other forms of business uses in the places where they currently are. It doesn't show them anywhere else. But the vision and the goals in the comprehensive plan both speak to wanting to attract more businesses to town and expand the kind of footprint of businesses. So staff sees this as being consistent with that desire of promoting more business, and in particular, rezoning property to allow for expansion of businesses in places where they are not yet, in order to develop underutilized or vacant property. I then conducted a review of the plan to kind of see, the business district in Thorntown doesn't have any development standards. So instead of comparing it to the standards in the ordinance, I kind of compared this proposal with best practices and the kinds of ordinances or standards we see in other communities. A few elements of concern that we had, or that staff had with the original proposal, was originally the widths that were being proposed. 24-foot wide parallel drive aisles. Those are the aisles that go between the east-west rows of the property, and then 26-foot wide cross drive aisles, so the ones at the ends of those aisles. The concern there is that a lot of the sort of professional wisdom that I was seeing showed 25-foot wide parallel aisles and 30-foot wide cross aisles. But discussion with the Plan Commission did not feel that the difference between that standard and what's being proposed here was significant enough to be a problem. And so that 24-foot, the aisles as shown in the plans were approved by the Plan Commission. The next item was the plan proposes putting the storage units fixed to anything or having any sort of foundation. And so you'll see that's one of the conditions that their recommendation comes with is a requirement to have some sort of anchoring system or some way of attaching these units to the ground in a more permanent fashion. The plan then proposes to have 4-foot setbacks on all sides. Staff and the Plan Commission had no problem with this on the sides that were adjacent to the cemetery. But on the northern side, where it abuts a residential property, staff expressed concerns that normally you would have some sort of buffer between a residential use and a non-residential use. Staff had proposed a 20-foot wide buffer, but the Plan Commission forwarded their recommendation with a condition for a 10-foot buffer. And so that buffer would need to be screened. So we're talking about a berm, bushes and shrubs, trees, a fence, any of those in combination or alone for that buffer yard. And then finally, a discussion around how the park is going to be lit. And again, the big concern there is that we just don't want the lights that are going to a lot of light pollution. We don't want people blocks away being able to see from there from the lights, and we don't want the light shining through homes, whether that's across the street or. And so there was the condition of making sure that all the lights are cut off mirrors and are pointed downwards, so they're not shining up into the sky. And so the staff recommendation is there in the report, but I'm going to just read you the Plan Commission recommendation. The Plan Commission unanimously forwarded a favorable recommendation to the Town Council for approval for the reasons, the following reasons. The proposed business zoning district meets the community vision goal of attracting economic activity to Thorntown and using existing properties infill for it. The proposed business zoning district meets the community vision goal of promoting self-sufficiency by providing for the development of a business offering services useful to and desired by town residents. With number 3, with some conditions, the proposed business use is compatible with the surrounding uses, current conditions, and overall character of existing development in its immediate vicinity. Number 4, the proposed business zoning district is the preferred designation of the property due to its proximity to a municipal utility and the old cemetery. Number 5, without evidence to the contrary, it is assumed that the proposed zoning amendment will have no adverse effect on the value of properties throughout the jurisdiction. There was no members from the public were there at the meeting to speak against the project, and there were no comments received, is what that one was saying. And number 6, the proposed business zoning district reflects responsible standards for development and growth in utilization of undeveloped property or infill, or for infill. And so again, the 4 conditions that staff added to the recommendation are, number 1, the storage units shall be permanently affixed to the ground with an approved anchoring system. There shall be a screened, number 2, there should be a screened buffer yard of 10 feet where the property is adjacent to a property with residential use. Number 3, the structures shall be painted in a unified color scheme. And number 4, all outdoor lighting shall be designed to reduce light pollution and include shields or cut-off luminaires. Then the staff report concludes with your motion options, which are to approve either with the conditions from staff's recommendation or the conditions from the Plan Commission recommendation. You can approve with amended conditions of your own choosing. You can deny the petition or you can continue the petition. I will take any questions now.
Anybody have any questions?
I don't have questions. I might have comments.
Well, we can do that if we're done with Marcellus. But
What did you say our options were, Marcellus? To continue?
Your options, yes. So your options are to approve with either of the two sets of recommendations that were listed in the staff report, to approve with your own conditions, so you can modify, you can mix and match, you can add new ones. You can deny, or you can continue to the next meeting.
we got 90 days, correct?
Yes, you have 90 days from the date of the recommendation, or of the certification of council's recommendation.
I have 17 November, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any questions for Marcellus. Anybody down there got questions? Okay. Nobody has any questions, Marcellus.
All right.
I thank you for your time and effort there. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. To basically what we're not approving or disapproving the units being in there. We're approving whether to, or disapproving whether or not to change from residential to business. And we can discuss that. Yeah, Jim, I'm in a meeting.
Oh, you're in a meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll call you. Bye. We can discuss whether or not to grant a change from residential to business. And I think we need to bring out a discussion about it. So anybody in the council that would like to start, go right ahead.
So can we discuss what's there or what you're putting there? Or are we going to discussing the rezoning or the switching it to?
Well, the first thing we have to do is approve or disapprove the rezoning, which would be in concert with what's going to be in there, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm the first guy that will say nobody should have any say-so in your land. I just think if you pay the taxes, you pay the payment, you should be able to do what you want with it. However, I feel like Sugar Creek Road is our second main street. And when I joined this board, I was told we are trying to give this town a facelift. So I'm not a big fan of the steel containers. I don't think they're the direction we want to go. But if we maybe put a dike with some bushes and trees and made it look nice in the entryway.
We're going to be landscaping the 40-foot back
Right.
from the road. On the front
On the front.
and the side.
Yeah, I think that's what he's done. His main plan is
That's the buffer.
not to have them out blowing,
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be full of
concealed by
main
bushes
road
and
with bushes and trees and whatever.
Yeah.
it's firm.
I do feel like that will impact the value of the home next door.
The homeowner there's had his, I mean, he got his notice to, and the guy who lives there, if he had a problem with it, he would voice his opinion, I would believe.
I've talked to him, he does not have a problem with it.
Right.
And I mean, you've got,
And I'm sitting around modulars and trailers and everything else, and my neighbors. So I don't think it's really gonna hurt the value of anybody's property. It was grown up in weeds and trash and everything else, and I cleaned it up.
Right.
No cars, boats.
And then another thing, he brought up the outdoor storage, which to me sounds like RVs run in there and boats, cars, junk. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, we want, my goal, and I've told people this, that I don't really care about the growth around town. I care about making our town come up out of the hole that it's in. So I mean,
The outdoor storage is back over the other, behind them other properties where you can't even see it,
Down over here.
down over a hill.
right.
You can't even,
Can't see it from the road.
that's the reason they didn't know all the junk cars was down there, because nobody could see it.
Right.
you're gonna have everything pretty much uniform, I mean, uniform in color and stuff. And,
Yeah.
I mean, your properties always look nice, anyways, so I would imagine you do the same thing with these.
They'll all be painted the same color. So,
Where'd you get that picture there that you turned in?
we just got that off the internet.
Just to show what it kind of looked like.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this doesn't look bad, except when you see the ends, it's still a container. I mean, there isn't any getting away from the fact that it's a container. And how do you intend to make sure those things are attached to the ground?
We'll anchor them down to the ground,
Anchor them with what?
either pylons or anchors.
They make for you. just
They
like
make them
that.
for them, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They anchor them down.
And the way we've designed like the front of it, that's gonna be facing the road. You're gonna see the backs of the containers, the ends are gonna kind of, but you can see on the design there where you won't see an end from, well, you may see that.
Well, he's
Facing
taking the
the
ones that
road,
has the
yeah.
doors, which
Yeah.
we could take the ones that's out by the road that you could see, and we could cover them in something else so you didn't see them swing doors anymore.
Yeah.
Make it look like the rest of the containers.
Yeah.
Because you would be able to see
Yeah,
on one of them,
on
yes,
one of them.
or two, on the two corners.
Well, I fall
But you
in.
could spin it around. No, you could spin it around and you wouldn't be able to see them. There's only one end has doors, so I could put a door to another one. Yeah, so you would, yeah, that's the way we planned it. So you won't be able to see them indoors
From the front.
from the front. You'll be butted up to another container where you won't be able to see it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I got more of a problem with a container as a container. I don't care what you do to it. It's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig, you know? It's still a pig with lipstick. And I know you don't want to do this, but if you build them like down here behind my place, I wouldn't have a problem with going along with it. But I just really got a problem with containers sitting there that, number one, at some point, they're gonna start to rust because the paint ain't gonna stay on them.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'd keep them hang on to that, not to look bad, you know? You know, them containers are way better built than them ones they put up. Structural wise, they're way stronger.
They might be stronger, but I mean, they just don't look right then to me, in a residential community, they don't look right. But that's my
There are
thought on it.
several places doing it, I'm gonna tell you. Even big cities are letting it happen.
We're not a big city.
Well, I know, but they're all over.
Bruce, you got anything?
No.
John?
No, not really. I mean, I like the idea of having something to conceal it from the road, yet still make it look nice.
Yeah.
That's what
We have planned to do that, yeah.
That would
we
be
don't
the
want
thing
that.
I'm most concerned about is driving by and making it look attractive from the street.
I'm not sure if it's in your paperwork, but there's a drawing you turned in that shows.
Yes, yes, ma'am, I have several.
How wide is that, Tim, from the graveyard going north off of Pearl Street? She's going, the entrance going into it, how wide's that gonna be? Cause isn't that lift station right there?
It's over in the corner. We'll be actually back behind it with the storage units.
Well, I understand that, but what,
Off that road.
what's the width of that property from the edge of the,
Looks like 168 feet.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's 168 feet.
okay, and then your drive entrance to go in, how wide is that gonna be?
26 foot.
26.
26 foot is what the area plan, I believe, wanted, wasn't it?
They, well, they,
That's what we put on there, they said it was all right with it, yeah.
Looks like it opens up to 30.
Yeah,
Okay, that's on this page. You got,
to kind of just,
looks like you got 30 foot travel down to 26.
and then it's gonna be about 40 foot off the road.
Yeah, it doesn't really show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not long.
Where does it show? I'm looking at it.
Here's the width of the property.
Okay,
The 40-foot deep is landscaping with the drive in the middle.
Our plan was to leave about 5 feet between that lift station property line to where we would start, so that there would still be plenty of room and access if needs be.
it needs to be, because they put the electrical box in backwards,
Yeah, that's
they
right.
couldn't get to it.
So we didn't wanna impede anything to get to that.
Yeah, so that's the reason we went back far.
So if we requested you to build a dike and make it, say, 6 foot tall, you would not be able to put it behind the lift station
No,
because you do not have enough footage there.
when they bought that lift station, they put the control box, so it's actually, you will be standing on that property to work on it. Which,
Yeah, 'cause it's all-
I'm sure nobody thought about it then, it was no big deal, but, you know, they really should have put the box the other direction.
well, what, on the north side, it runs from west to east. What's your plan there so people, the whole concern is, it's like Randy said, that's, North Pearl Street is a major entry into Thorntown, just like coming up the hill on 47, or coming in from the west side. So what's your plan on the north side of your property that would run from west to east?
I height. for that.
So that you keep-
Inside where the
That's
house,
the only thing about
residential
it,
house
really
is, right?
big enough
Yeah.
containers.
Well, the back half of it is actually will be blocked.
Security, so.
By his
We're
garage.
with the neighbor's garage,
Well,
but we still plan on putting kind of landscaping or something is what they said.
Yeah.
Put trees or bushes.
Well, according to the plan, you gotta have 10 feet between that property line and your,
Yes,
the first one of your
yes,
storage containers.
yes.
Right.
So there'll be room for landscaping there to kind of hide that side of it.
But there's already a tree line
Yeah, there's already trees there.
right there, actually. Them trees are actually on my property. By his driveway.
And we plan on leaving those there.
And
then adding
Maybe
to whatever we need to
we
add
was
to.
thinking about them tall pine trees or something like that, just to hide the storage container. You really wouldn't be able to see them that much at all once they're there. And we'll pick a neutral color for the storage container, you know. A natural color of some sort, probably a tan or something.
You don't want chartreuse or pink.
Not unless you want it.
Picture that shows what they're gonna look like.
So is this Aztec, this sample picture you have here, is that who you're buying from?
I'm not sure. That was just one we pulled off the internet that had a picture.
Yeah, they just want to see what they were gonna look like. So
Yeah,
we
they're,
just pulled that.
we're gonna buy one trippers. So that's as new as you can get, is a one trip storage container.
Okay.
So they're all basically new.
I didn't see anything in there at all about the runoff because those storage containers are flat. So what happens in a heavy rain when all that water's on top of them? Where's it going?
It drains, there are drains made in the top of them. The way the roof's made, it'll drain. Basically, kind of got some little gutter system up on. They're, they're built good enough to go down the road, they just put wheels on them, take them down the road. So,
What did they want the setback on the north side to be?
10 feet.
10 feet.
According to your drawing, you only got 3.
Well,
They changed
They
that at the
changed it.
meeting, yeah. They wanted
Marcella moved it over. It wasn't 3 feet, it was
It's-
5 feet.
what-
Oh,
you've got-
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
4 feet.
You've got 66 feet from this line to this line, and you got 60 foot of containers in there. That only leaves 3 foot on each side.
Yeah, and they said for the graveyard sides it was fine, but for that side, they wanted us to move it back 10 feet.
Yeah, so
So,
the front
We
was
had,
like
we
that
didn't,
off.
yeah, we didn't redraw it from that point, that's just the original,
Okay.
but they wanted us to move it to 10 feet.
Yeah, I think we ought to, get the drawings in order for what's real. So that we don't have any discrepancy between when you start this and there's 10 feet. And I mean, we say we want 10 feet. Marcellus did. That's verbal. We need a picture of what we're gonna do.
Well, it's in the report.
Yeah,
He's it's 10 feet,
In the report that Marcella made up, it seemed.
I
yeah.
don't think it was in
Well,
mine.
the drawing's
Yours?
not.
The drawing is not.
Drawing is not.
Right, well, that's what he's
Yeah,
saying he wants.
but he said there's nothing in writing, but there is, because it's in that report, that it's to be changed.
If you adopt what Eric claims, it's in their,
Yeah.
their thing that needs to be moved over to 10 feet. So.
Yeah, there's no.
And they put in there everything else too. They would paint them all the same color, fasten them down. Some kind of a screen,
On the north side, yeah.
on the north side.
How tall are those? I should know.
The high cubes, I think, are
6.
9.6.
No, maybe that's the width.
No, it won't be 9.6. Well, wait,
No, it wouldn't be 9.6 on the
be,
width.
yeah, 8 foot wide,
So
so
basically 9 foot tall.
by 9 foot, somewhere right around 9 foot.
So you got, all of them will have 8-foot doors, or some bigger than others, they all the same size. They're not same length, but they're same size from,
Same height. and
Height.
depth, yes.
Yeah, everything will be the same height,
Same
everything will be
width.
the same depth, and then they'll have, well, if it's 40 foot, it'll have 4 doors in it. 20 foot will have 2 doors in it. Because, well, it should be all around 8 by 10.
what is the wall in between the doors gonna be? How's that gonna work?
Probably metal. Just, you know,
And all of them are gonna have electricity or not?
not inside, and you're not, no. I ain't gonna give them any inside, but just have the lighting outside. Because if you put electricity in there, they'll try to do everything in the world with that storage container. If you put it inside, so. Most storage containers don't have any power inside of them anymore. Only some of the older ones. Or if you buy a climate controlled one and with a lot of restrictions on renting it, will have a light in them sometimes.
You're not gonna climate control it.
I can, no. Depends on the temperature that day, it could be just right.
I would say we table this till the next meeting and everybody think about it for, you got 14 days. The 15th is our next meeting of this month. We table it till the 15th and vote on it at that time. Is that in agreement with the council?
I would like to see you bring your drawing back, and I would like for you to show a berm/dike that is at least 8 foot tall. That's gonna be some serious dirt. And you're gonna need to move your line away from the town's little parcel there. I mean, I don't wanna see them. I mean, I just don't think it's what we need in this town. And we got new ones going out west of town, is that correct? Have we heard any more about
I
that?
haven't heard any more about it. I don't even know if that's in town or if it's in the county.
You talking about right there before the
Bull Mill Run,
Old Mill Run Road?
yeah,
That's county.
I think that's county.
it is, but still, people will utilize those.
Yep.
That's just my 2 bits on it.
Gary, John, you guys got anything to say?
I'd rather sit on it for 2 weeks and let's process it.
Do what?
Sit on it for 2 weeks and process it.
Okay. Bruce? Okay. Okay, table till the 15th. Okay. You smell all that burning, what everybody up here's thinking? Okay, the only thing we got in here for report would be from the fire department. You got anything? Okay, police, you're good? Okay, Jeff, you got anything?
Other than what we've already talked about.
Okay.
They say when they were gonna get started down there on the trees.
Oh,
He talked about
I
it.
talked to Bruce today,
Bubba.
or Bubba, not Bruce, I'll talk to you. Bubba said that, since it was a short week last week and the weather wasn't good, he didn't move anything down there, so he's looking at next week to get started. He thinks he can get down there with his equipment with no problem as long as it didn't warm up and get real mushy, sloppy down there, that he didn't see any problem, so.
I don't think it's supposed to warm up.
I know Cutshaw's probably getting antsy because he's wanting something done, and we are too. Okay. Have you got anything?
I do,
I
yeah.
knew you did.
Yeah, we're coming up on the end of the year, so there are some annual tasks that I'm working on. The first was a form which you all filled out. Thank you very much. And then I wanted to go ahead and see if I could get your approval on the bond that is required for my position. We've had a prorated bond for the period of time that I've been in, and the renewal will be in January and will carry us through the end of the year, and it's $720. So I just wanted to make sure it was okay to pay that when that came up on January 1st.
I'll make a motion to allow Ally to pay the clerk treasurer bond of $720 for year 2026.
There's second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. The next thing is we've been, Todd Colvin and I had a meeting over the renewal for health and life insurance that into 2026, there is an 8% increase on that. So the town, well, the payment is $9,474.65 per month for the current employees set up. And then if everything carries over the same, the town pays 90%, the employees pay 10%, and then that is also divided up according to the percentage of utility employees. So we did budget for a larger increase in the budget that was submitted than the 8%. So we are covered to continue doing the same thing. Anthem is also dropping a new plan that's underwritten, medically underwritten. So we have the option to have the employees fill out a form and see if it's any less expensive for everyone, if it's medically underwritten. If it's not, then they can fall back onto the same plan. We don't have any penalties for that at all.
Okay.
So that is an option that we can do to try to save a little bit of money. I don't think that plan information has come out just yet. The last time I talked to Todd, we were still waiting on it. But that is an option moving forward. So I just wanted to get any notes, any questions you guys had before the next meeting as we go into the end of the renewal period this year.
No, if it meets, if it's less than what we bargained, or what we
Budget.
programmed for, budgeted for, why, I'd say we're okay.
Okay.
When does it renew?
The start of the year.
Maybe, okay.
Yeah. Yep, and it's next year's this won't impact it. Next year's a 27 pay period. 27 pay period. So we need to adjust some of the folks who are in salary and things like that. So I'm in the works on that, and then I'll have a complete breakdown of the costs for everything based on the pay file.
Okay.
Okay. If there are any questions about that, just let me know. I can talk with Todd and get those answers as we come up on that. The next thing was the 2026 AIM, so the Accelerate Indiana Municipalities. We did budget for the dues, and those going into 2026 will be $1,677 starting January 1st. I was wondering if I could get approval to pay the AIM dues for next year.
I'll make a motion to allow Amy to pay the 2026 AIM dues, $1,677.
Is there here a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, pay the dues.
And then I didn't know if anybody needs, there is this handbook. It's used a lot by me and
Yeah.
Kareem. There, if anybody wants one, there are some 2025 updates, and they're $50 a piece. But if needed, or if you would like to order a new one, I can get that in. But
Does it? I thought they sent one when you renewed every year.
Oh.
Maybe.
I can check. I'm not
I
sure.
thought
Okay.
they did, but I may be wrong.
Okay, I will check on that before buying anything.
Okay.
Hi, and that was that on the AIM section. One other renewal that is coming up is for our town website. We currently host it through municipalimpact.com. They're still a very inexpensive option for municipalities, but they are raising it. So we would be bumping up to $1,045 a year. One service that is offered through IoT, the Indiana Office of Technology, is a free, like hosting of a free website for municipalities. It offers all the same options we currently have through Municipal Impact. And we're going to have to make a bunch of changes anyway. It needs a bunch of updates, and then it needs to be ADA compliant moving forward. And they handle that on their end and help out with that. I didn't know if during initial website talks that had been something you didn't want.
No, that actually came up at one point in time and we never really pursued it. But I thought we were wanting to, we just never did.
Okay.
So
But what are we on now? We've got,
it's just a matter of who's hosting it. We're paying somebody to host it now. And what's that IoT stand for? Indiana
Office
Office
of
of
Technology.
Technology. Do they host it for free?
Yeah, it's all at no cost to the municipalities. And Jamestown is currently on it. They had good things to say about it. I checked out their website today, and it offers the same, if not more, features than we currently have. So if that is something that you would like for me to continue looking into, I can.
Look into it.
Okay.
Please, like as far as, know nothing about websites, but would they transfer everything over? You know what I
I was
mean?
gonna say, we're already got, whatever we've got, it's already on our computer, so they'd have to
Right.
change every one of us.
Oh,
Right.
No, she's just talking about the website itself, not our email.
Yeah, your email would remain the same. And I did have an email to Steven just to confirm that nothing would interfere with the other setups or cause cost issues.
So we're paying for two different things.
Yeah, but it would be that way because you'll have your email running out, and that's always going to have a cost when it's a custom web domain.
But the website itself we're paying for now. If we switched over to that Indiana Office of Technology, we wouldn't be paying for it. At what you said,
$1,000 a year.
$1,000 a year.
Okay.
I think it's worth checking into.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. And then I did, not having a huge understanding just yet of how to handle year-end appropriations. I met with Jared and got their help looking over everything. It looks like we won't need any ordinances because we won't be moving funds. We have enough to cover everything, but we will need to transfer some funds between categories. So we're working on a resolution just to ensure that everything's covered at the end of the year. We had some overages of like $30,000 in some categories. So we're just making sure that I'm still going through what's coming this month and just to ensure that everything's there. But we are working on a resolution that I will have at the next meeting for review and signature on that.
Did you look at one from last year to get an idea of what it was?
Yeah. Yeah. And then they helped a lot with walking me through what that appropriation report entails every year and things like that. So that's what's coming. We'll also have the calendar of meetings for review at the next meeting. And then I didn't know if you think of anything else that I'm missing out on this year-end stuff, just let me know and I'll have that all set for the next meeting.
You may need to adopt your holidays.
26.
Oh, adopt holidays.
Our,
Okay.
well, that's what she was saying, calendar for next year.
Yeah, immediate, yeah. immediate
Oh, our,
calendar.
yes, and our
But you'll have to do
holidays
holidays
and
too.
also, our, salary
Salary,
ordinance.
okay. And then there are changes to the employee handbook coming as well. And so those will be ready for review, but at least the changes, you'll know what changes need to be made to the employee handbook going into 2026. But yeah, if you think of anything else.
That could be adopted in your first meeting. In 26, you could review
Okay,
at the next meeting.
But the salary ordinance needs to be done at the next meeting.
okay.
Okay,
Real quick while we're talking about it, I know, the utility guys had asked for raises on the street department
Right.
and
They had regular salary raises that are in effect, and then street department that'll take effect January 1st and need to be in the salary ordinance.
wasn't there one more that, they were wanting? I can't remember right off the top of my head. I know the
I'll check.
street department.
Street department, yeah, the quarterly stipends for that were increasing. I'll double check.
Okay.
what's our snow removal contract with Venus? I don't know what that says, but they, Market Street over here is full of ice and so is Pearl Street. And I'm just wondering what our contract is, because both of those are thoroughfares, especially for buses coming out of there leaving. And those streets are full of ice. I don't know what our contract says they're supposed to do.
Just plow. There was, certain intersections that they're supposed to solve. But as far as, everything else, it's just plow.
Well, there wasn't-
We can always ask them to put a little bit more effort into those certain streets if you want. Which streets did you say?
Well, Market right here in Pearl, we're all the way down from my house in, all the way down to, you could skate all the way down there. You can over here too, but most streets are kind of dangerous, I think, and especially both of those get used by school buses when the school's out.
Yeah.
So,
We could ask them to salt those,
yeah,
put a little bit more plow into it and salt those as well, because the salt's just based on how much they use. So if we add some
yeah.
places to salt on there, then they,
Well, I haven't checked out there on North Pearl going out of town. I don't know what that's like. Has anybody been out that way? Cause those streets, some of those main
Frank
streets.
probably
Frank,
has.
I mean, it's patchy all over the place. So there's some that's, there's some, you're right, it's like a skate rink. Usually, we've always done the intersections, it gets bad right there at Pearl, where the old fire department is right there, because that's a bad intersection. I don't think we've ever really salted roads.
We haven't really salted roads. The only thing we have listed is intersections, certain intersections, and I don't recall what they are. It was in the paperwork in the contract that showed what intersections. I just don't remember.
They take care of you pretty good out on 75 in front of the fire department.
State Highway does. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask if the fire department is still part of that contract for Venus as well. If they bring in there, if they take care of the fire department as well.
I don't
I
know.
think it's been off and on.
I'll stop
Turn
over
into a
there.
mowing conversation again.
I'll stop over there and talk to them.
We try to do our part to get it away from the doors, make it a little bit easier for them just to push it all.
Were they
It's hard to get those plowed right next to it.
when they did it, were they doing the front and the back side both or just the
Yeah.
front?
It seems like they made one pass around the back this time, they didn't do anything else.
Okay.
I just didn't know if that's in the contract or not. If we can do it.
I'll stop over there and talk to them.
Appreciate it.
Okay. First reading, ordinance 2025-7.
Yes. The grant funds are coming in. We have just under $4,000 left that they can distribute, which is going to be taken by the end of the fire suppression system. Has a $5,000 invoice still to come. And then, so we're just looking to get the ordinance established for the grant fund that we've been putting the grant money in and need to disperse it from. So, there's this.
Wanna read it?
Okay, the whole thing, right? All the way through?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-7, an ordinance to establish a ready grant fund, Fund 2405. Whereas the town of Thorntown has been approved by the Greater Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce to receive a grant in the amount of $150,000 for expenses related to 116 and 118 East Main Street project. Whereas the town will be a recipient of funding from the Ready Grant, and whereas the Ready Grant funds must be deposited into a separate local grant fund and used by the town consistent with the terms and conditions of the grant. And whereas the town desires to establish a new fund, the 2025 Ready Grant Fund, to receive funds from the Greater Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce and to provide a mechanism for appropriation and accounting for the funds used. Now therefore be it, and it is hereby ordained by the Town Council of the Town of Thorntown, Indiana as follows. Section 1. Fund established. The Town Council of the Town of Thorntown, Indiana does hereby create Fund number 2045, which is designated as the 2025 Ready Grant Fund and shall be the depository fund for allocations received through the Ready Grant program. All expenditures must be appropriated by council. Section 2, permitted uses. The funds in the 2025 Ready Grant Fund shall be used consistent with the terms and conditions of the Ready Grant subrecipient agreement. And Section 3, internal controls shall be designated, implemented, and documented to provide reasonable assurance that the Ready Grant funds will be safeguarded and used in accordance with the Ready Grant subrecipient agreement. That's it.
Yeah, you did good. Okay, we put that off for the second reading, or how will we?
We'll do it at the next meeting.
Hmm?
We'll do it at the next meeting, the second
Okay,
reading.
so we don't have to do anything now.
No.
Okay,
I've got another, I'm not sure if it's ready yet. You said you talked to Amy about that planning ordinance, because she did send it to us.
To Deb.
For
No,
joining.
Amy's working on the ordinance, which is what you guys will approve to join.
Right, she sent it.
Yes, but Deb is working on the language for the agreement, like an interlocal agreement between, so that you guys know exactly what your influence will be over the planning commission.
Okay. So Amy said we could go ahead and read this tonight for a first reading. So we'll just add that to the agenda under new business. What
okay.
did you say that ordinance number was?
We're on 2025-7, so this would
3-8.
that shade.
Yeah,
Yep.
2025-8.
Yeah, I can read it. Ordinance number 2025-8, an ordinance adopting the area planning law and joining the Boone County Area Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals, whereas the town of Thorntown Town Council pursuant to ordinance 2018-8, Indiana Code 36-7-4-101 and Indiana Code 36-7-4-200, adopted the Indiana Advisory Planning Law and established the Thorntown Advisory Plan Commission, and whereas the Town Council established a Board of Zoning Appeals pursuant to ordinance 2021-10 and Indiana Code 36-7-4901. And whereas the Town Council has identified financial challenges associated with maintaining the Town of Thorntown Planning Department, Thorntown Advisory Plan Commission, and Board of Zoning Appeals. Whereas the Town Council has identified challenges associated with identifying individuals able and willing to serve on the Board of Zoning Appeals. And whereas the town council, in communication with representatives of the Boone County Area Plan Commission, has determined that the town would benefit from adopting the area planning law and appointing an individual to represent the town on the Boone County Area Plan Commission and the Boone County Board of Zoning Appeals. Whereas the town council finds that it is the best interest of the citizens of the town of Thorntown to adopt the area planning law and appoint a representative to the Boone County Area Plan Commission and the Boone County Board of Zoning Appeals. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the town council of the town of Thorntown, Indiana, that Section 1, the text of the Town of Thorntown Code Ordinances, Section 31.53, 31.90, and 31.91 shall be repealed and replaced with the following sections. Section 2, the Thorntown Advisory Plan Commission and Thorntown Board of Zoning Appeals shall be dissolved as the effective date of this ordinance. There shall be a Thorntown Planning and Zoning Advisory Board established consisting up to 7 members appointed by the town council who shall be individuals residing within the corporate limits of the town and who show an interest in improving the health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the citizens of the town by the careful planning of future development within the town. The Thorntown Planning and Zoning Advisory Board shall work in conjunction with the Boone County Planning Department to ensure that new communities grow with adequate public way, utility, health, educational, and recreational facilities, that the needs of agricultural, forestry, industry, and business be recognized in future growth, that residential areas provide healthful surroundings for family life, and the growth of the town of Thorntown is commensurate with and promotive of the efficient and economical use of public funds. Section 4, the Indiana Planning Law as defined by Indiana Code 36-7-4, 102, and illustrated through Indiana Code 36-7-4, 200 is hereby adopted by the town of Thorntown, Indiana. The town council shall appoint one individual who resides within the corporate limits of the town of Thorntown to represent the town of Boone. Let me start over. The town council shall appoint one individual who resides within the corporate limits of the town of Thorntown to represent the town on the Boone County Area Plan Commission. The town council shall appoint one individual who resides within the corporate limits of the town of Thorntown to represent the town on the Boone County Board of Zoning Appeals. The appointees shall meet the requirements of Indiana Code 36-7-4, 200. A copy of this ordinance, Section 6, a copy of this ordinance shall be certified to the Boone County Board of Commissioners. Section 7, Ordinance 2018-8, Ordinance 2021-10, and all other ordinances or portions thereof that are in conflict herewith are hereby suppressed to the extent inconsistent herewith. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect on January 1st, 2026. And that ordinance effective date can be changed. It's just, that's what was just put in here for paperwork right now. It's a first reading of ordinance 2025-8.
Okay. First reading, we don't have to do anything, right?
Couple of things of note with that. What you would be voting on is whether you want to join the APC. It mentioned that it would be certified with Boone County Commissioners, that they do not have to adopt or accept you, that by state law, you can choose to join. So it's not a matter of whether the commissioners can say yes or no, it's whether you choose to say yes or no. And then what Deb and I met on last week was the possibility of doing an interlocal as a part of this that would be adopted into your unified ordinance that's coming up, the development ordinance, the UDO, that they're working on now, this the new set of zoning. We would adopt the processes that you choose to have for going through a local board to the APC, if you want to do that. So that's what I met with Deb about last week, and she's willing to be here at the next meeting to discuss some of those things.
Okay. And would you make sure that she knows over there what Gary, what's your concerns? Why don't you tell him what your concerns are?
can't really be answered here.
Huh?
They can't really be answered here. I just had a couple questions about, just.
Well, they can be entered though before we,
True. The, basically what my concern was, decisions, other planning commission staff would be the final decision of the town, not the county. The town's decision can't be overridden by the county council or by the county APC.
Well, the thing that you're doing is you're adopting a zoning ordinance.
Right.
You're using a zoning ordinance. They adopt your zoning ordinance into the county's UDO.
Right.
And they have to use your zoning regulations and your recommendations. So they're only all they're doing as a board would be saying, they're looking at your set of zoning ordinances and saying, does this meet the town's set of zoning ordinances?
Right.
So they wouldn't be able to change your zoning.
Okay.
That's up to you guys the BZA would be the final say on that, but you're the ones adopting the UDO for your town. So as that moves forward, that's how that would work, is that the APC would just be reviewing whether it meets your chosen ordinance or not.
Yeah, and Gary, so they would use our ordinances
Right.
Yeah.
to make their decision. We still wouldn't have any say other than, our one person on the board.
Right.
But your other concern was we can drop out
Anytime.
anytime, and I
I mean,
think,
if this just turns out, I can't imagine it not turning out to be a good thing.
Yeah.
But if it did happen to turn out to be a good thing,
But, and I think it's something that you ought to think about as when we get the budget turned around.
Right.
And we get our revenue turned around, it may be a time when you want to just say, we want to go back to our own planning department. And that would make a lot of sense. This hopefully would be just a bridge to get us to that.
well, I think Gary's concern was that it's in writing. It's in writing from them on how they run their business. It should already be in writing that those things take place.
Well, state law dictates how the APC works. And so that's how they adopt your zoning from your town.
So it is in writing someplace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The processes are what we're working on who does what and how it's presented to them, that kind of
Okay.
thing. The staff report will be done at every APC meeting for any project that's happening here. So that'll be a part of that. It's important, I think, also to note that they are, I think, very close to possibly offering someone a full-time position as the planning director for Boone County. And I've asked that if they do that and that person accepts, that I get a chance to meet with them before they take the position so that I can carry your concerns to that new person.
so Deb is not actually, she's just acting.
She's a contractor for
Okay,
the county right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
She
well-
has been for about a year and a half now.
Bruce has volunteered to be on the APC, right, for meet with Boone County. And Eric, would you be available to be by name on the BZA? Because they only met 3 times last year.
Sure.
Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, so I, just other than being involved with the utility, well, that's not gonna cause any.
no,
issues.
as long,
Their evening meetings.
as long as you're not elected, is what Amy said.
Yeah.
For the BZA. If you're not an elected
Right.
official, then you can't be an elected official to be on
A
the BZA.
non-elected official can serve on both. An elected official can only serve on the APC.
Okay. So we're covered then with both the APC and the
Yeah,
BZA.
I think that'd be great additions. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Moving on, I'd like to pursue the nominations for president and vice president for 2026. Do I hear any nominations for president? Nobody wants one?
I'll nominate Dave Williams for president.
Or second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, nomination for vice president for next year.
Definitely nominate Bruce.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, me for president and Bruce for vice president for the next year. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Okay, and all we got left is claims.
You too.
I was making sure I signed it in the right spot. When's payroll, next payroll?
Next one is this Friday, so it just ended, which I believe last year quarterly went out about this time too.
I don't do very good at wrapping stuff, so.
So December 5th and the 19th.
And I believe quarterly went out last year, the first weekend, the first payroll in December, so I'll double check that, but we might have that. Thank you.
Is there two things there?
There was a payroll.
Oh, okay, I think I already got it.
Okay.
That's all there was, right,
Thank
two?
you.
Okay, so we are make a motion to close the meeting at 8:14. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is closed. Do we need a reindeer and sled to get